Welcome to week 17 of St. Paul's Art. We are going to focus again on an Advent based project. We're going to talk about the light, the star of light. And in this project, we're going to create something that kind of looks like our stained glass that we made for Piet Mondrian. So we will make a star using a template, or you can choose to draw your star by yourself. I drew my star and it kind of looks okay. But we're going to think about the shaft of light that shines on baby Jesus, because we're talking about the star of light, the star of Bethlehem, and the important person in our story, and the focus of Christmas. So it's baby Jesus, the gift, and the star of light. So to begin, you will trace. I will send to my students, I will send a star home and a piece of paper, and you'll be able to trace that in your sky. You need to decide where your sky is going to be, probably at the top of your page, and then trace around the star to create your shape. And that will be your beginning. In my drawing, I have my star, and then I took a ruler to create my shaft of light, my first two shafts of light, just so I remember that's where I'm going to keep that light going. And in that, once I have that shaft created, I'm going to create other shapes because I want to give the effect of a stained glass. In order for us to keep that star as white as we can, because we're going to be working with watercolor, we're going to color with white crayon on our star and on our Jesus. So, and what that is called, there's a term for that, it's called wax resist. So the wax from the crayon is going to resist the watercolor paint. And in that, I'm going to make an example. I'm going to color in my star white. Anywhere I do not want my watercolor to hit the paper and make color, I am going to color white. So I'm going to make sure that's colored really well, because I want that as white as possible. And then I'm going to create my manger with my baby Jesus in it. You can choose to do that however you like. I am thinking and keeping in mind that it was where animals got their food. So it was probably a trough. And I'm going to put Jesus in there with his eyes closed because he's sleeping peacefully. He's a happy baby. He's the gift to the world on Christmas. So I'm going to color in his blanket white. I don't want watercolor on that either. And I'm doing this all in pencil in case I want to erase. And so I'm going to take my watercolor, which I actually need to go get some water. I will be right back. So I have my water, my brush, and my watercolors. And what we do when we paint, most all the time, a very good rule to go by is to start with your light colors first and work darker. So the lightest color I'm going to work with is yellow. And that is going to be the shaft of light that is shining on Jesus from the star. So I'm going to paint that yellow. And I'm actually going to paint over Jesus because I will put in the details later, and I colored his blanket white, so I don't have to worry about whether or not that yellow is going to cover up my Jesus. It just wipes right off. Same with my star. It just wipes right off. So I am going to also think about what the darker colors of my sky will be, because I want to fill in all my shapes. All of those shapes I want to fill in. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're kind of painting more of a wash over the whole piece of art, because after we've completed our painting, you're going to go back in with a dark marker, black, Crayola, Sharpie, could be permanent if that's all you have. But I want to create sort of, because of the lines that I used with my ruler to create shapes in the sky, I want to use those as guidelines for my stained glass. And that's kind of the hope there. If you want to go back in a little later and add detail on your Jesus after that watercolor is pretty much dry, you can do that. And I'm going to test it. It's pretty dry. I can add a little bit of brown for the trough. Just like so. And once you've done that, and after it's dry, I want you to outline your lines that you created in your sky to create a stained glass effect. And that is your Star of Light project. I hope you enjoy that. It's fun to think about the anticipation of Christmas.